Alright, so this lesson's about transversals. Transversals are basically you have two sets of parallel lines with an intersection in the middle, and visually it's got the way you show things are parallel with the two little arrows, and you need to know that the angles are equal diagonally, so it just goes zigging zagging back and forth. Alternate interior angles say that the angles opposite sides inside the middle, but on opposite sides are equal. Alternate exterior are things on the outside pieces, but they're on opposite sides, those are equal. Corresponding means they're on the same side, but they're one's on the inside, one's on the outside, those are equal. And then consecutive interior angles means they're both on the inside on the same side and they add up to 180 degrees. They're supplementary. Okay? So in general, the first thing you want to do is look for pieces that have some sort of a common variable when you have a transversal. So if you notice, those two both have x's. All right, and they're alternate exterior angles of each other. So that means that they're equal to each other. 2x plus 50 would be equal to 4 parentheses x minus 10. So you'll go ahead and distribute it and balance. So 2x plus 50 equals 4x plus negative 40. You have to move the x's to the same side, so you'll do negative 4x to both sides. And you'll also want, so then you'll rewrite, but then you're going to want to move the 50 over with negative 40. So the opposite of plus 50 is negative 50. Do that to both sides. And then you'll end up with x equals, so negative 2x equals negative 90, then divide by negative 2. X equals 45 degrees. So that tells you what x is, and then you can plug that back in for x to figure out what the actual angle is. So 2 times 45 is 90. 90 plus 50 is 140 degrees. So that means that angle on the outside there is 140. So again, that angle up in the top left is 140. So now, and the bottom one would also be 140. So we have to find some sort of other relationship. So I'm going to go ahead and relate those two together that are next to each other. Now you should recognize that those are a linear pair, which means they're also supplementary, so they add up to 180 degrees. So we know that the 2x plus 50 is just 140, so we'll say 2y plus 140 equals 180 degrees. And then from there you can just balance. Opposites 140 is minus 140. So you'll get 2y equals 40 degrees, so y equals 20 degrees. So once you figure out y, you can then plug that back in. So 2 times y would be 40 degrees. And you'll recognize that 40 and 140 add up to 180 degrees. Alright, so we can replace all the variables. So now we're down to just that final piece. So we have to find some relationship between that and something else. Well, there's multiple ones you could do. I'm going to go ahead and use the ones that are right next to each other. And we know that if they're next to each other, they make a linear pair, or they're supplementary angles. They add up to 180. So you can say that z minus 20 plus the 140 degrees equal 180, and then from there you just balance as we did before. Be careful when you're combining the like terms. Again, that's a negative 20 and a positive 140. So when you put them together, it makes positive 120. Subtract 120 from both sides, and you'll end up getting z equals 60 degrees. All right. Now, we can then plug that back in. 60 minus 20 is 40 degrees. Now, a final thing you should typically do with transversals is just double check that everything matches the way it should, because transversals have a lot of related variables. So what you'd want to do is go back through them, simplify each expression, 140, 40, 40, 140, and then just kind of look at your angle relationships and make sure that they match each other. So those two are equal because they're alternate exterior, and those two are equal because they're corresponding. Okay? And that's basically what you do with transversals.